It's time to do the duel in Prairie. One and all, welcome back to the channel for game number 3. Beastie on the French, Wham on the Malians, and we have got a double scout opener here on the wide and open Prairie to crack this one open. A best of 7 series that is currently standing 1 apiece. You heard that correctly. But last week, we had this situation. 1 apiece, Vortex had opened the series to a win, only to then lose 4-1. Has Wham already lost momentum? Or are we just at the beginning of one of our deepest series in Midweek Muster? That's what we're here to find out. French versus Malians. Interesting matchup for this map. Malians have been looking a little bit better of recent, but French, still a king when it comes to Prairie. What is interesting and of note is that Beastie has already played this map and this matchup. Earlier on, in the quarterfinals, he played it against B. That ended up being the longest game of this week, one of the longest games of this year in competitive AoE4. The roles were reversed, though. Beastie in that game was on the Malians. So, if he felt like the game should have been over quicker one way or the other, this one is going to be a pristine example for him to prove how. Sheep opening, it's going to be 19 sheep coming in from Wham. Beastie looking a lot better, though. Check this, he's up to 28 sheep. Damn, the type of count that's high enough that you could just consider going all in, no pro scouts. I imagine we'll still be looking at it in this particular game. It's going to be a long game. I wouldn't be so sure. I honestly said that I think if there was one map that can justify corner trade posts, it's this map because of how open it is. There aren't many maps that I think can get away with it. Right? It's why I hate High View with a passion. It's why I think Pigeon's View is 10 times the map High View is. Because you've got all these tree lines, the shroud of the forests, and then you're able to go for easy trade. Whereas like here, you know, the trade is in the corner, the secret site's in the middle, there's very little wood, there's a lot of open ground. It can make French feel a bit oppressive because they can basically trade for wood. But outside that, I think Prairie's a good one. And what is up, Yellow BYQ? I appreciate the bits, mate. Glad you're enjoying the content. Now that is a fat stack. And that shows you his intent. Touch the gold? Whoa, whoa, whoa. In our society, gold is sacred. It is merely to be observed, worshipped, at another house. 144 gold. Statistically, with this many houses nearby, someone is going to die of gold poisoning. Interesting choice, though. So we're definitely going to be seeing pro scouts, I'd imagine. And the macro is going to be very nice for it. You can already see he's got the food and gold necessary. Is it going to be what I think it is? This is the defensive landmark. Oh, wow. And he's okay, that's kind of crazy. I never would have expected that. A Saharan trade network to protect extra wood and double gold. That makes sense as well of the pit mine state, right? Like you might at some point need to go for a mining camp. And in the event you do, you'll do it on this one instead. That's wacky. I mean, this does leave his base wide open, but that shouldn't matter for a little bit. But down the line, when he's got more than 15 villages, like Night Mask can just dive here instead. And the next safety net is a mile away. Very interesting, though. In theory, the thing that Wham can do to protect his home here is outposts with now gold-costing javelin placements. Because remember, one of the things that gets overlooked, gets glazed over, but doesn't get talked about enough with Saharan Trade Network is like, some people think it can be bad because now you don't have Mansa to get stone. If you have Saharan Trade Network, you have very little reason to need stone. Because there's only 2 reasons, really. If you want to build a keep, or if you want to fortify an outpost. We're not going to talk about stone walls, because that very rarely happens on this map unless you're in Outer Plus. What it does is it changes arrow slits costs from being gold and stone oriented to just being gold oriented. Pro scouts already on the way in from Beastie. I mean, that's the tricky thing about what Wham did do here, right? Like, this is a lot of idle time without Wheelbarrow walking out here and now staying here. And then, wait, he deletes the house anyway. This just keeps getting more and more interesting, doesn't it? Well, he knows knights are coming from the other side. So usually you're thinking Gonzos. Now, with this extra wood, he could afford them. This is going to feel like a lot of gold. So I'm imagining Wham is looking to prioritize a Fulani timing here. Because with this much gold, yeah, there you go. It's undeniable. You're going to be filling out ranches. Yeah, so another big part of why Wham's done this, he's trying to mitigate the need to play the Age with units as much as possible. That's a big part of the thought of this landmark now. It protects a lot of economy, and it means that Knights early can't dive in, especially when you consider Beastie went Pro Scouts. What's even more interesting, on top of that, is the fact that Wham is completely ignoring Pro Scouts. Not often you see that when we're seeing a lot of these Fulani Pro Scout hybrid builds that seem like they're way too greedy, but Malians somehow always able to get away with it. But this looks like a FC Fulani build. Beastie has to be kind of aware of it with this Saharan being built like this. I think he's still going to scale Knights and then just look for the tech up, because like the number one play that Wham and Malians are looking for with this fast castle is to start flooding Sofa with the Fulani, or you go Musafadi. Either way, Knights focusing on the charge in and evasion can make that work, right? So you mirror the Sofa and block them, against the Musafadi you charge in and pull away. And he's even prepping the archers for that inevitability down the line. In fact, I think Beastie is looking to keep pressure up deep, and there we go. He knows as a result of that, Wham is going to have to react with Donzo play. So Beastie, already ahead of the curve. A little bit dangerous to scale archers on this map due to limited wood, but the idea here is that Wham is not doing anything. He's camping. Right? He's got his little Mountain Dew Dorito cap on. He's installed and downloaded Modern Warfare 2. He's 13 kill streak on his way to a tactical nuke. He's going to sit in that corner. He's not going to move. Props to you if you got that reference. So with that in mind, Beastie knows he has a lot of levity, has a lot of forgiveness in the way that he approaches the map. I do wonder if this was intended by Wham or a reaction to the spawn as well. How good are poison arrows against Knights? They're decent. They're like one of your best range tools, right? Because you don't have crossbows. But I think ideally, you want to try to avoid archer spam anyway, for obvious reasons on this map. Like, Prairie is not forgiving for archer-focused civs. It's why I don't think I've ever seen something as horrible to watch as Abbas's playing this map. Like, I'm trying to think, chat. Is there a worse civ than Abbas's on this map? I'm pretty sure there isn't. I mean, English get cheaper farms. They can afford the wood cost a bit better. Nah, like I think English functions better. Because Abba's thinking like multiple TCs, and the TCs don't necessarily secure a lot unless you want gold. And then in the mid game, you want to find a way into the scale archers, go composite bows. You can't because wood's limited. Like, you'd think because of the trade, Abba could be good here, but that's so much later in the game. And you can't really justify early trade anymore, especially after they changed the trade wing so that you don't get the extra resources early anymore. Roos, yeah, Roos can be weird, but it's a Pro Scouts meta. So you can just fast cast with Horse Archers. Roos do quite well because of Horse Archers, because of how hard it is to protect yourself. Aggressive civs are usually more favored here. Decent aggression there. Unfortunately for Beastie, it did cost him a knight. Almost 2. Ranch count, half full so far. Beastie's archers are starting to arrive. I have to imagine this is going to be a quick timing on siege engineering. A little bit surprised he stopped off for Undermesh. It's very good for the knights, but very bad for the archers. Remember that javelin emplacement actually does bonus against ranged. So Undermesh doesn't really save you at all. Like, it doesn't actually kill it doesn't change the kill threshold, because these do 15 damage. And, 15 damage after the Undermesh resistance, and you have 70 health. So you die in 5 either way. For the knights, it will definitely be okay. And yes, another fair point, Roos can buy the wood. But I think that the biggest priority on why Roos is good, Pro Scouts, fast castle, very easy to do because of how close your gold is and everything else you need to touch it. The only weakness is obviously hunting cabins, so sometimes Roos players actually have to mine gold. But the reality is, like, Horse Archer is really good here. French, really good here for the same logic. Aggression, food, gold, orientation. Wow. Has now started scaling those javelins. I don't think this should reach for Beastie. The army doesn't look big enough yet. The Rams are going after the production. Makes sense. Saharan trade network with 5,000 HP feels like a no-go. Yeah, this is kind of whiffed for Beastie, hasn't it? As French, you are scaling a villager lead over time, but the problem is the Fulani is going to eclipse that fully. And now after Wham has kind of like seen the size of you and you've seen the size of him, he kind of laughs and says, what was I worried about? He doesn't have to invest in more military now. He can just go castle. Yeah, this is that embarrassing moment when you like flex your muscles and the guy across the gym flexes back. Oh, sorry, no. He flexes and then you flex, feeling confident. And then he shows you a six-pack and starts laughing at you loudly. That's how being the French compared to the Malians after that square off feels. So basically at this stage, I mean, decent amount of knights. Playing Castle Age isn't the end of the world for him. But it would not be unreasonable to say Wham now has an advantage. Sounds like a toxic gym environment. I don't know, man. Would you rather take the guy who mocks the size of your muscles to make you work harder? Or would you rather take the person shaking their booty in the gym for TikTok views that is going to make you distracted? Those are your two choices in the 21st century. Wall from Wham is ambitious. I know he loves his walls, but that is way too gluttonous. So we'll lose a villager, but Grand Fulani on the way. Beastie, can he actually dive quick enough here? Cal says he's single and horny. Yeah, well, actually, no. You're in a triplet, and you are very horny, though. I'll give you that. So, Beastie is going to be taking up Guildhall, maybe? Yeah, there you go. Even with the pro scouts, like, diving Marlene's very difficult. He needs that scale point later on, now that it's Fulani. Okay. So, next step for Wham. Sofa seems very likely here, so you can just start to raid into the enemy. And that would be very good considering Beastie's playing wide. The problem is, like, Wham hasn't scouted yet. He's now coming in for that info. It does feel like an organic play, because at some point you're expecting your opponent to have to come out of his base anyway for wood, if nothing else. Villager lead will mitigate the cow boom? Yeah, much further in the future. The cow boom is complete, and he's got a 7 villager lead. That doesn't eclipse this. This is, like, ridiculous, right? Because remember, per ranch, you're generating 140 resources, right? So 140 resources, and then you multiply that by, like, what, 5.5? So you're talking about... I'm trying to remember exactly what it is now. It's big. It ends up being, like, 600 extra resources a minute or whatever. 600 to 700, usually. So with like that in mind, yeah, you're talking like 20. We usually just say the figure 20 eco. The 20 eco usually comes in when you have the second level of your eco tech, your food tech. Now, some things that Beastie is doing to offset some of that problem is superior gathering rates off of things like boar and the deer. But it still doesn't make up for the whole gap. No, he needs to find a little bit of chip damage to contain. Now with Castle Age, one big play he has is monasteries. Wham can't get out of the base yet, so if Beastie rushes his monk timing, he could get a lot of extra gold here. And yeah, we don't talk about the Guildhall, because the Guildhall is like a farce. At this point in the game, it doesn't matter. It will matter several minutes from now, but like that is a long way off in a game of AoE 4. You know, in 10 minutes, think about the amount of choices the average high-level player makes. Not the bronze player. No offense, bronzes, but you guys are like vibing. You're busy selecting the new Spotify song, which takes 5 minutes to do, so that takes all your attention. Then you come and you click a few more villages, right? At the highest level, we're talking so many permutations that can play out. So many actions that are taken. So to like weigh up the Guildhall is going to make the difference is in genuine to state of the game right now. What BC is doing a good job of doing, by the way, is not losing much. He's finding additional worker kills. He's barely losing units for it. And still Wham is contained. So that eco lead is now building to a notable number. The problem here for Wham is the sofa play feels so delayed. Yeah, there's no counter pressure. This was to be somewhat expected. Beastie has been taking a more aggressive line with his competitive play recently. And Wham has, despite his objections online and in person, he's a defensive player. I remember we had this debate at Red Bull Wallo El Reinado, I was like, you're a bit more defensive than your brother. He's like, what? No way, I'm not more defensive. And I just went, mister, who's more defensive? And he just pointed at Wham and said, you. And like on average, when you look at their game lengths, Wham and Puppy Paw do like the mid game and towards late game a lot more than a lot of the other like pro players at the absolute top. So it's not really a surprise to see Wham taking this more defensive orientation here. So relics were targeted. Good intercept by Wham so far. We still don't have any Mosque play. There we go. Finally got dropped, but we've got 2 TC. Wham, love this. He's aware that this is skilling against him now. He's on 0 eco damage. He's taking eco damage. It seems greedy, but it's kind of the way he has to lean here. Because at this stage, if he runs into the enemy base, the Knights come in on the flanks, he loses more. Beastie, he's starting to stockpile a little bit. We've got a lot of stone being grabbed, which can usually be indicative of like gold keep drop onto the sacred site. And then a follow-up red pass elsewhere to secure 2 sacreds. And Sophus did get scouted out early, so Beastie aware of the plague that's coming. Love that he's still taking these aggressive lines. It's getting a little bit more gambly though. You can see Wham, the confidence is growing. Yeah, Wham is... He's pretty much that atypical gamer, isn't he? He's been living in his basement his whole life, and finally he stepped out. At first, the sun burns. But then you kind of like it a bit. You think, maybe I could go to the beach and enjoy this. He's finally realized there's more of a map. More of a life outside the basement. And he looks to thrive. Problem is, Beastie is not going to make it easy. So for rain on the back is big, though. There we go. Finally, some French villager blood is drawn. Good raid from Wham. Still going to do additional damage as well because Beastie's army is diving in. Yeah, he's chasing further away from where the defense is needed. Eco now starting to even up. Night dive continues. The Donzo count is looking good for a turnaround, though. He's waiting for Beastie to not be looking, but quick reactions out of the Serb. Archers now with the trade out. Sofa are going to complicate matters with the imported armors. Meanwhile, the Sofa and the base have still not been fully cleaned up. They'll die eventually, but that means that Beastie's missing additional reinforcements from the main engagement. Donzos look like they're starting to win. Wham takes a reasonable fight, able to back away, happy now that he has got the villager lead. And it will continue to extend. Beastie, he may have a guild hall that is stockpiling. He has got to keep drop for the discounts as well. So safer at home now. But as we mentioned with Prairie, you can't stay where you start. Yes, this keep drop is great for protecting these initial resources, the 8k, the 2.4k stone. It does nothing for your tree lines that are nowhere near. Hello, Wham. Seems like a bit of an overextension here. Only 10 Donzos. So the javelins are kind of being thrown away a bit. Yeah, he has to pull away. At first, he was standing there to muddy the fight, so the archers couldn't target him down. The Beastie, able to find that target, gets the follow through. Sofa are going to slow down the assault. He's rallying enough javelins now in that will scare him away. So Beastie, he retakes the military lead, but the problem still here is like Wham is bloating. He's got enough wood in the corner to even consider adding in, 20 farms here. 3 pit miners as well. 4th one here if he needs it, if he goes Imperial. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Wham goes Imperial. We've been seeing Puppy Paw do these fast Imperial builds on the ladder. If you give Wham just a little bit of time, he's likely to mirror that type of play. No doubt they've been practicing it together. This map is toxic? Why is this map toxic? I'm sorry, what? Golden Heights is in map rotation and you call Prairie toxic? Be honest, you like building TCs, don't you? I think this map feels toxic to anyone who likes playing defensively. At first, when it came out, it seemed like a fast castle learning type map, but the more it's developed, it's not that simple, I don't think. This is the type of map that someone who likes playing SimCity will hate every day of the week. Which is crazy, because like, look at all the open terrain. You can make a beautiful SimCity. But the problem is, like, you're not well defended. Golden Heights is a great map. Why the hate? Because Golden Heights is an example where a few civs are just overly oppressive on the map in general. Your goal as a map designer should be to make about 8% of the civs viable. I think Golden Heights, it's more like 30%. Beastie, hello. I wondered what happened with the village account. He actually went for a second TC. Okay, so not falling behind anymore. And we do have the guild hall pull now. So here we go. Red pass drop, but it's going to have to be at home. Oh my. Oh. This doesn't feel good to do. Usually a red pass is something to claim additional resources, but also around the sacred site area. So something that is going to be part of the fights. It frustrates your opponent, but this is going to frustrate him after he's cleared your base. The opposite of what you're looking for here. I'm now starting to dive in. He's looking for the pop lock. Javelins are going to go for the bypass, but red pass is up. So we'll have to back away. I'm now trailing in terms of age, but he can extend an economy lead here. Goes in for the dive. Not able to find those kills. Has to respect this. Remember, there's an arbalist emplacement now in this town center. So actually it hits pretty hard. So we're just trying to burn down a few buildings. Actually does go for the guild hall. Interesting. I mean, he's got a lot of food here. So losing a few troops isn't going to be the end of the world. He's trying to force Beastie to commit before the elite techs come through. Looks like it's going to work. Beastie does not want to lose that guild hall. So clash underway. Arbitrary count. There's not many of them. The javelins are on point with the targeting. Wham! Getting rid of the biggest threat here. The sofas are inevitably starting to lose out to the knights. So finally, he's going to back away. But what he's done here is he's kept Beastie in his base long enough now that he can freely go Imperial. And the difference here is Wham, he could go for Imp with a Fort the Huntress here. The alternative is, and I believe Puppy Paw was doing this on a ladder, wonder if Wham's attuned to it as well as the Griot Bara. For a few different reasons. The production rate is insane, but also the farms in the late game. Remember, this map doesn't have as much wood, so it's hard to blow up 60, 70 farms. So you could give yourself that additional inflation. Instead, though, he can't take up a golden opportunity to lock the center of the map in. So he's going to be Fort the Huntress. Nice thing about this, the first strike. Because your production is likely going to be behind this, when you produce new units and bring them out, they're going to get that first strike buff, so they're already going to have better impact at the beginning of fights. Hemred Palace is interesting, maybe place farms. The problem placing farms here is it means you're not using the discount. Really, you want to be placing ranges and stables around this. So any farms would be way too far away. He can maybe place them back here, get a small stone wall, and he's got a secondary keep. So like there is a corner camp here for mass farms later on if he feels overly threatened. My worry is that puts you even further away from the sacred sites. And that is the thing that looks like it's going to decide this. Nice little night raid though. Hello. So I'm a bit distracted. Yeah, he notices the knights on the west side. Sofas are now going to be built over here, but he didn't even really pull the villagers away. Okay, so nice little bit of chip damage. Late game's very interesting here, because on one side, in the hyper late, the guild hall can stockpile 10,000 resources easily, right? Because remember, it has a snowball effect. Low small numbers, big late numbers. So that means later on, if you don't use this for a long time, very good for Beastie. However, the constant here for Wham is going to be the Fulani effect. In a game where you can only have so much population at 200 pop, this frees up a lot more population space to have a similar economy to an opponent and put the rest of the population into military. So the expectation here is for Wham to focus on bloating count. Good news for Beastie fans, you have one of the most pop-efficient units in Age of Empires 4, the Royal Knight. And looks like we have got the gunner switch. I like this. Gunners plus Donzos can go a long way, especially if you just have a handful of Sofa in there, because remember, Sofa at this stage of the game can give 3 leadership. That movement speed is good. You know how French Knights hate dealing with HRE spears due to the movement speed gap close? It's that. Also allows your hand cannoneers to have a similar effect. And, oh. Come to Papa. Where you going? Beastie's gonna have to thread the needle. Looks more like a needle to the eye, though. Just about gets away with the one knight. Beastie's army count is not looking impressive. The farm transition isn't complete. It's only now underway. Yeah, these are the initial farms, guys. He's out of food. There's a huge window now for Wham to climb through. Freema's going to be on the way. Wouldn't be surprised if he prioritizes elite army tactics here and then goes. Is he slow rolling this instead? He is. We've got keep drops. Yeah, so he's just going to look to start the timer and tick this one out. That does give windows of opportunity to Wham, though. The only way Wham can win this game now is by wonder victory. Someone has experienced losses to Guildhall quite a bit. So, Beastie does have ways out as long as this corner's safe. I think Wham's going to fix that, though. We've got Stonewalls coming. I'd love to see him just Stonewall here as well. If your opponent can only trade to, like, here, it's not that desirable from the corner. Because Beastie's going to need that trade at this rate, guys. The 4k gold has ran out. The wood is running out. There's no gold in the corner. The Guildhall can only fix wood or gold. It can't fix both. Trade can fix everything. And Beastie, it feels undeniable, is going to be forced towards it at this rate. Griot borrow 100 Warrior Scouts and Siege Festival. Ah, I see you've been feeling creative, but have you met the worst enemy? The Red Palace? Yeah, this thing's a kept W. You're like, wow, I can just burn it down. 100 Warrior Scouts later. Why does it still have 2,000 HP? Another interesting thing actually about this matchup is it's more forgiving for a Malian player to be pinned in the corner than a French player. Because if Malians are pinned in the corner, they can still just build Warrior Scouts for only food. And they also have infinite passive gold gen because of the pit mines. Whereas for French, you know, you got the Guildhall to occasionally give you gold, and then you can get food. But like, you can't build your horsemen with just food. You need the wood. It's like Denala resources here, Beastie. He has got cannons coming through. He's going to be looking for an opening for a free decap. It's just difficult to find it right now as he's discovering on the flanks. In theory, if Beastie can get up to like 4 or 5 cannons, cannons are, dare I say, the best Imperial Age siege weapon. I know people want to say Great Bombards, but Great Bombards have mobility and pack-up, depack issues. The interesting thing about cannons is cannons rapidly deploy and attack and move. I think like they're quicker than culverins, and culverins have like a quick, you know, shoot, no pack-up. Bombards are about the same speed, but they have a pack-up. I want to say cannons are actually the best. They feel like it. The more we've been seeing them, whether raw cannon or not, it just feels like the type of unit you can use not just for killing buildings, but also for killing units and then running away. In a way that I don't really think Bombards can do as well. And Culverins kind of suffer in a different way, right? Like Culverins are lower base with a quicker attack speed slightly. Yeah, I'd say in general, cannons are better for start stepping. Because it's a 5-second attack window, it's kind of more forgiving for you to then turn around, move, shoot again, compared to other options. All right, so we're waiting for it. We do finally have university text coming through. Yeah, long wait, in fact. Still not there for Beastie, though. Has got Incendiary, but no biology. And hello, what is this keep drop? Wow, he's just going to flood troops to try and deny it. Gets pinned in the end, though. This is not going to work out for him. Castle is going to go up. So Wham able to move closer and closer to getting that trade online. Wow, and Wham does not see it. It's snaked in there, but this keep drop is definitely going to flag suspicion for the Canadian. Sacred Site timer still has 8 minutes to go, so this game definitely not over by a long shot. Oh, hello. Villagers on the front side. I mean, this is the tricky part. When you see someone with 110 eco in this situation, you think the game's very balanced, but it's not because of map control. BC has to take significantly bigger risks with his villagers now that could easily see him lose 10, 20, 30, 40 villagers like that. I mean, just look at this group here. 38 villagers just running around like headless chickens. We do have the stone walls coming up, so what BC's trying to do is protect himself against the sofa raids so that he can all-in focus on one sacred site. Because if he has to divide attention between defending and attacking, you're going to get a replication of what happened earlier with that small sofa dive, the one that got 8 worker kills. That's what allowed Wham to win that key fight in the middle, which kind of snowballed to this later state in the game. Have I ever cast a 2-hour-plus game? Yes. I cast a 2-hour-plus game in Dota 2, and I have in AoE 4 as well. In fact, AoE 4, I'm pretty sure my record is I've cast a 3-hour and 20-minute game. Might be longer in the free-for-alls. I'm pretty sure on the free-for-alls we had like a almost 4-hour game. Oh yeah, you see these bombars I was talking about. Slightly slow on the movement speed. Same attack speed, but the pack up is awkward. It's going to be enough to deny the cannon. Flash here over the tree line because the villagers are here gathering. Beastie is going to be able to start defending temporarily, but it's only because he's throwing villager bodies at the start of the fight. So Wham will chip away at that economy more. Has to fall back now. Horsemen held in reserve to try and clear the way, but the gunners should be capable of protecting this. Well, apparently not quick enough. Beastie does get the initial wallop. So 2 bombars down. A good exchange there for Beastie. Military numbers still very tight. But more castle drops on the way. Wham is starting to oppress him across this central strip. Villagers, there's just not really much to gather in these areas. Trader count is currently at 4, so we're at the infancy of this phase of the game. And you can see the effect it's having on Beastie's gold. He's trying to go hand cannoneers, but that's not a reliably consistent play. In fact, I think, did he have this on gold before? Yeah, so he kind of pulled the gold for the one offer, queues up what he can, even gets royal bloodlines out of it. Wham, meanwhile, I think we have every tech, right? We've got biology. Well, we haven't got the powder. He doesn't need the gunners having that buff because like they're not hitting the infantry too often. But we do also have the elite army tactics. BC got screwed on the gold spawns. He had a corner gold and then another one over here, I believe it was. Yeah, here. I wouldn't say he necessarily got screwed in the gold spawns. It's just he got screwed in the game plan. I wonder, do we end up seeing trade? Yeah, BC was suspecting it. He actually broke through the wall and went hunting. So this is kind of inspiring for Beastie. It means if he can at any stage get a decap, state of the game completely changes. The challenge is going to be getting just that incy-wincy one-off decap. That doesn't seem that feasible. Not right now, anyway. Wait. I didn't even notice that. Okay, what? One was just standing there? All right, that was perfect timing. Oh, my eyeballs were fixated elsewhere. And apparently Wham's was as well. Are you kidding me? Just one horseman. I never thought that would happen. Like, why would it? Then again, just think about this. Keep drop here, keep drop here, keep drop here. Nothing on the east side, and he leaves one wood wall and no one in the area. Well, the game just flipped. Wham now has deep game state issues here. And it gets worse! The horseman actually killed off some of the ranch play. Alright, chat. Moment of vulnerability here. I'm going to explain what happened and why we weren't focusing on this. It's not a cop-out, because I actually just want your honest opinion. I thought on my microphone I was hearing it clip a little bit. And I got freaked out when we had the plug issue again. Just want to clarify. The microphone definitely is... It sounds crisp, right? There's no peaking or anything. This is where I'm going to get trolled and people are going to say yes. I just want to check that because I don't want to ruin the quality of this game with a hiccup in audio. Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Whew. I get paranoid sometimes. Woo. BC probably should have been more paranoid about this. Check this. Wham, he's coming in for the interception. I mean, he has a new goal in mind. BC stopped the Sacred Site win condition, so he needs to contest the goal directly. He's looking for that sweet, sweet trade. BC, decent amount of arbitrary in here. Hand cannon is as well, but the Sofa are going to commit, and the Gunners are just superior. BC getting munched down upon. Wow, a damn good fight here. Archers are trying to make it a bit better by taking out some of the Gunners, but the Sofas are just undeniable. Bonus damage against all of the infantry in this engagement. And now he can just camp here on the trade. Oh my god, what a wipe. Beastie, I mean, he had troops rallying from the other side, has reinforcements coming from the far east. And now core of the Gunners are still healthy here. 20 plus, still able to dive in. Trade is now getting cut down. Beastie, he wasn't deep on this count. It was only about 20 traders. You can see he hadn't actually blobbed that big reserve of resources yet. The guild hall is also on food, not gold. I don't know if that's intentional or misclick, because in this game, I think Beastie probably just assumed that he was going to get his trade now, and he needed 10,000 food down the line for horsemen. But now, this could end up killing him in 4 or 5 minutes. Dive comes in. Wham still looking good for the fight. Beastie just trying to flank raid. But there's no overreaction from Wham. In the meantime, he blocks it all off. Castle gets dropped. Needs to be a little bit respectful of the keep. So Beastie will be able to stabilize a new wave, but when you look at the raw military mass difference, it's undeniable that Wham now feels like he's in the driving seat. That gun account just holding reliably high. And now the wall up to make sure there is no bueno, no trade. BC still paranoid that Wham might be doing it himself. Why is Puppy Paw not playing? He wanted his brother to win one. Is that the excuse we're going with, Puppy Paw? Oh, there it is, yep. Bombards, looks like they are going to get sniped. So big pick there. Remember, like, Wham, he has got infinite gold, but theoretically should be limited. I say theoretically because did you guys notice that Wham actually hasn't really touched his gold much? He's got, like, what? Is this one? I can't even click on it. It's being annoying. There we go. Almost 4k there. 4k over here. He's tapping this one at least. He still has reserves. That's the power of Malian infinite gold. And the wall. Just in time there. The trader keeps it open. So Beastie, he can still scale more traders. Has reclaimed his side of the map. Somehow he went from being 80 military behind to now only 20. There was a caveat though. The quality is kind of undeniable here. A lot of gunners, a lot of donzos. Might be a difficult defense for Beastie. Passive gold is a plague. I think you could nerf passive gold across the board, sure. But I'd say if you nerf passive gold, you should probably nerf farms further as well to, like, balance everything. And then, finally, I'm just going to say it, you should decrease the amount of wood per tree. I would love to see a limited time game mode that simply decreases all the resources on the map. I almost want to say I want, like, increased gathering rates, but decreases on infinite and decreases on the limited resources. Just to, like, to test it as a format. Keep suck? What do you mean? Did you not see that one pony that died? Puppy Paw? Did you not see that one poor little horseman who went down? He has a son at home. A son that he will never see again. You son of a... Anyway, focus on the game. We've got the horsemen moving in. The ranches are all going to get denied. In return, the trade has now been cut off. This is a big commitment. Remember, Beastie, this was his reaction last time when he got dove. The only upside I'm seeing right now is the bombard count is not high for Wham. So you will be able to deny the ranches. The Fulani is going to be a big rip here. If Wham wants to end this game off this play, he needs more siege. Remember, there's a red palace behind all this. That's why Beastie feels so confident about this. That's why he knows he can get away with it. Because the reality check here is nobody wants to dive a French red palace. But you can set yourself up to end on it. Reminder of the state of the base. The Red Palace is the furthest back landmark for the French here. Torch damage starting to stack up. Gunners will reign supreme in these choke point fights. And the Mangos as well on approach. No adjustable crossbars, mind you. And a keep drop. He's here to stay. Wham! He's full on gung-ho sending it. Beastie has been mostly mopped up. Yes, the Fulani has been denied. Great. But what is the price in return? Wham is down to 67 economy. Can he get up to maximum pop? 180 pretty much. Castle drop looks like it's going to be a success. Things have slowed down a little bit on the push as Beastie's gunners and the keep were able to keep him alive here. Have to imagine Wham has more siege coming behind this. There you go. 2 more bombards being queued up. TC is almost dead. Castle's being repaired as well, so not easy to obliterate it. Whew. I mean, it is a crazy lead, but BC has a problem here. The guild hall is gone. There's no gold coming there. The trade is not happening, right? He's blocked off by the walls. Yes, Wham decided to build a chair-shaped wall here. And that means Beastie cannot replace hand cannoneer losses, really. He's once again stuck on horsemen like before, but also all the siege becomes worth its weight in platinum, not even gold. A few more horsemen are going to break in, so it looks like he's going to try to hunt onto the gathering location. We'll find it unguarded because, wham, he's pulling all the troops forward. This is the convergence point. 2 landmarks left. Wham is kind of close to the all-in pull. Not quite there yet. We'll feel confident about it when the School of Cavalry is down. And the tricky part in this game for Beastie is because all of his landmarks are essentially in a line, he can't sneak repair them. Wham will go through here and always see them. Beastie, good idea with the walls. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually help as much as you'd like. Not when you're this outnumbered. He's down to 11 hand cannoneers. Might try to sneak them in, but you can already see the break on the wall come from the bombards. In fact, Beastie, what will be sick here is if he snipes these, yeah. The golden target right now. The bombards are the only realistic way Wham can easily end this game. Will react accordingly, defend it. You can feel he's just on the edge, on the verge of winning this. Has got a few Donzos to now stop those horseman raids. So Wham stabilizing around 65 eco. But guys, this is not a bad thing. His population is close to 200. He's not suffering from a weak villager count. He's winning because of it. This is a pristine example how sometimes your villager quantity can handcuff your ability to end the game. Especially with Malians. These Mangos still feel a little bit weird. I think there was an idea originally in mind and then it didn't make sense against horsemen. Bombards are getting the snipe out though. Beastie can't afford to lose cannons like that. Sofas are going to hunt for more. Love this peel by Wham. Beastie, he doesn't react pulling them far enough away here, so he's going to lose one. Second one's going to get repaired. Meanwhile, in the main engagement, numbers are thinning a little bit. Wham losing some of his steam, but he's wiping out the quality of Beastie here. It's 6 hand cannoneers left, 39 gunners, and now he can gun his way to victory. He's on the verge. Beastie, a lot of his production is coming from the far east side, so not even immediately back in the fight. Does offer up a backstab opportunity. Cannons are now reaching the castles. Needs to be a little bit careful about his positioning because he has lost that strong point defense to stabilize. These bloody raids on the back. I mean, this is a tricky part, right? Like, these raids from Beastie kind of start to lose value once you've killed so much. Logic being, if I take 20 population to go raiding, but you're down to, 60 instead of 100 economy. That means per second, statistically, the likelihood of me finding a kill is lower. Because there's less villages for me to find. Right? So I'm already gambling on where they are. But then in each area I find them, there's realistically going to be less for me to kill. How the hell does he have so many horsemen? That's what I can't get over. The guild hall has been down for a few minutes, right? And yeah, Beastie is trading again. He got it back online on the east side. Wham took too long. It's 17 traders, and they are paying well. So hand cannoneers is once again accessible for Beastie. Oh my god. And the burn through is going to be quick enough here. So Horseman now buying time. This is important. Before, it was survival, draw attention, I don't want to die. Now it's draw attention, I'm trading. I can't believe this. And yes, the melee armors at this stage, earlier on, I didn't agree with it being said in chat. I don't think it mattered. But now, because Beastie is pretty much survived on Horseman, 3 melee armor would have been a big deal here. This is crazy. Villagers have been found, though! Hello! Hand cannoneers a little bit too slow, so won't be able to ultimately punish. Quick fingers out of Beastie to dodge death there. That would have been the entire economy lead. However, Beastie now has a bigger problem. Wham's looking in this area. The traders are here. And the bombards are coming to clear the keep. This is wild. He knows he can't trade on the west side. Keep in mind also, this isn't just gold you can get wood, you can get whatever you need out of these. The bombards are going to be moving to clear the way. Good news is, even with the trader losses, Beastie still has a healthy economy lead. Really, he does still, because the ranches are looking ugly. Oh my god, what happened? Oh, I get it. These are free-range cows. They're not Barry cows. Yeah, we don't, squish them all together. They reign free. Hello, sofas. Beastie, he's finally going back to hand cannoneers. He's going to wish he had him a little bit sooner, though, because nice fight here for Wham. And look at the military difference after this. Oh, my God. Beastie, he has still got a healthy reserve of food for mass horsemen again. But Wham, is this the biggest military lead he's had? I think so. Landmarks have been repaired. Beastie, wait, he only just got the guild hall back up. He just pulled 120 resources out of it, and it's going to go down again. The bombards, man, they have cleared the way. There's a few sofa left here. Beastie, he's trying to go off the siege. Great reaction out of Wham. Just pulls away and gets ready for the dive. He might still lose the bombards, which is going to give Beastie a sign of life here. I say that, but come on, you cheeky son of a gun. Oh, that was sick. Ringer Rosie's here, so only loses 1 bombard. Meanwhile, diving into the base, it's a 4-1 military lead. Beastie needs more hand cannoneers to really sell me rather on the soul of this fight. Because what he needs right now is a way of efficiently trading underneath the keeps, and Horseman alone is not going to cut it. No, he needs a real threat. Speaking of Horsemen, most of them aren't here. They're still flank raiding. Seems to be enough to make Wham once again reluctant, though. Jeez, are you kidding me? Alright. 1's if you are loving Prairie, 2's if you're hating it. Second game this week where we've got over 300 worker kills. Wow, that is polarizing. You hate this? You hate that, the economy is not safe. Military blood again. I wonder if Wham, looking back at this game, would have felt like he was at a point where he could have won. Because I feel like twice we've been on the verge, and then he got distracted by a raid, and didn't want to take the risk of all-inning, but it feels as if it would have won him the game. Right? Like before when we had 4 bombards up here, 2 landmarks down, feels like it should be a clean-cut finish. And then he gets distracted by this every single time. I think this is the part that people probably hate, is Beastie has somehow extended this game so far beyond when it should have because of these horseman raids. But I'd argue in a way, Wham's reaction to it has maybe been at times at least overkill. Understood it when he still had 100 eco, but when he's down to 60, and he pulls the whole army back, he's pretty much giving Beastie another way of living in this game. Also, like, is this not actually a pristine example of passive income being the issue, not the map? This game has been this long because Malians have all their passive gold and food, and French have yield hook. I don't think you have that problem if it's not for that detail. Beastie, his economy lead has been obliterated, by the way. I think we're there. I agree. Probably will just like flagged it in chat as well. Like, it's 140 military now to what, 75? Beastie doesn't have great reserves here. His gold has now been blocked out. He's got 0 gold traders. There's 17 of them, but they can't trade with this interception. There's a group of gunners holding it hostage. So look at this gold income and assume he's not getting much more bar the passive resources, which is enough to equate to, like, what, 2 extra hand cannoneers a minute? 3 maybe. Wait, is Beastie going? Okay, so he has the gold for adjustable crossbars, but I have a more important question. How are you getting the wood? I don't think he can get adjustable crossbars. It'd take at least another 5 minutes. I don't know about that one, dog. The reason why this gold interception has been so important in Wham's eyes, by the way, and why he's focused on it maybe overzealously at times compared to the all-in, is if Beastie gets a trade for 3 or 4 minutes, it's Mass Knights. Mass Knights into Gunner Sofa wins, right? Hand Cannoneer Knight should be better in the hyper late game because it's just creme de la creme. It's the best range unit that French can get, and the Knights are amongst the best cavalry units in the game. Like, we talked about this being one of the most pop-efficient units in AoE 4. I think that's why Wham has been so fixated on the trade this whole time. They didn't have passive resources. They'd probably do the same, just without gold units. Okay, but then, like, the argument there is there's not much wood, and the wood is all outwards on the map, right, in a different way. Like, the thing that I think is fair to get people miffed about, not in prayer, I think just the state of game sometimes. This passive income here, this passive income here. It's no risk, it's in your base. This is a big risk, though. What? Wham, he's got enough to come in with a backstab here. The Knights at the back aren't going to last for long. The Mango's trying to snipe out, but remember, there's no adjustable crossbars. This has to be it. Backline is now done. Mango's are in trouble, and he has to run for it. Tries to gun his way out of the fight. A handful of Knights still to hold on, but Wham has a lot of spears here. Needs to stand his ground. So let's go shuffling for the bombard kill. Knights not going to be able to find it, though. And meanwhile, his own siege is now getting sniped out. He doesn't have a way of dealing with that bombard. Does he have a way of dealing with the main army, though? He still has 36 hand cannoneers here. Wham, with the 24 gunners, the 23 so far, it should be enough. Surely. Somehow Beastie's still alive for now, but he's on the ropes. He has to be feeling it. He's sick of standing his ass in the corner doing nothing, especially now that there's no trade to be gained from it. So this is a wallop down the center, an attempt to all in, but my worries here is that Wham's economy is just better. The Fulani is almost fully operational again. Allowing him to vomit out a lot of troops. Serpentine powder would be handy, but Beastie doesn't even have that for the kite potential against mass infantry. And now, before it was towards his own base where production could be a little bit on his side, now, for the first time in the game, he's going to experience what defender's advantage looks like for the Malians. Remember, these are not cannons. He doesn't have a quick snipe wing condition on the landmarks. He's still got some way to go until he's actually threatening Wham. You can see Wham is actually taking this opportunity, milking it to get as much military as he can. Cannon. Does snipe another Mango. Sofas are holding on the flank. Beastie. I think he's sensing it. He's feeling it. This may be a choke point too far. Donzo's now spread out. Cannon sniping the siege. It's the all-in from the Beast. But the Canadian cannot be stop. Donzo's able to charge on top of the hand cannoneers. It's Beastie's last stand. And fall he shall. We'll head into game number 4 just before a redraft with the Canadian ready to slay the scariest man of 2025.